people that are here, you're here because you had a part in this significant, monumental effort that we're making here. Everybody here is here for a reason. We couldn't have done this without you. There are major players, obviously, that really helped do this, but everybody sitting in this room, you guys are the reason we're here. The Yakima River Basin Water Resource Integrated Plan. This planning effort started. It's an active plan. This isn't a plan that we set on the shelf as we've done numerous times with plans. This is a plan that's an active plan, and this is a demonstration of how the integrated plan works. We're physically going to turn some dirt and do one of these projects. And again, it's a start. It's the beginning of one of the major projects in the integrated plan, but we have numerous major projects in the integrated plan that we will meet numerous times. I can see this gathering. I can see all your faces over and over again as we meet to celebrate steps that we take. And so, again, if you look back, way back in the corner, you'll see what we call the Helix. This is a model that was designed and built by our Denver technical staff. We brought it up here because we were excited about it. We wanted you to see it. This is what this is going to look like. This is just a scale model of it. But we wanted you to see that and get a feel for how this system is going to work. It's unique. Some other people may talk about it. It's one of a kind. It had a lot of input from a lot of scientists that made this thing work. We tested it, and we're ready to build it and get fish coming and going here. But for that, we've got a couple kind of fun facts that I want to ask you some questions about and see how knowledgeable we are or how good guessers you are on some of the aspects of this fish passage project. So we see the Helix over there, and again, that's a scale model. It'll be 10 times larger than that. And the fish are going to enter at the top and come out the bottom of the dam down here. And so what I'd like to get you guessing on that, about how many seconds do you think it'll take from the time that fish enters the top of the Helix and enters down in the river? Anybody have any idea of how fast it's going?
Just call out a number.
40.
40 what?
Seconds.
I'm going to go a little higher than that. Where are we at?
120.
120 is a little too high.
75.
75 is a little too low.
100.
I think you're close enough. It's 110 seconds. Okay. So for that, we're going to offer.
Gummy fish.
So we're going to look at that in a little different way. That was 110 seconds from the top down to the bottom of the dam. How fast do you think that fish is traveling, miles per hour? How fast do you think that fish is going?
47 seconds. 47 seconds. Miles per hour.
I'm going to give you miles per hour.
11. 5.
I'm going to give you miles per hour. You were high and low there. You were high and low there.
20 miles.
10.
21.
Higher than 21.
25.
It was 26. It was 26. I think Dave back there. 26 miles per hour is how fast that fish is going. So this, again, this facility, the whole passage facility, is going to be a rather large facility. It's going to be built out of concrete, and the question would be, how many cubic yards of concrete are going to be in the fish passage facility?
80,000.
That's way high.
30 and big.
A little high.
22,500.
No, too high.
29,000.
Too high. Too high. 19's close enough. It's 18.
Who said that?
Scott said that. Okay, we're going to move on here. How many gallons of water will go through the Helix in a day? And now we're talking about gallons. How many gallons of water will go through that Helix in a day when it's running? And I'll give you, there's going to be kind of a range here because the Helix works at 100 CFS up to 400 CFS coming down that Helix. That's cubic feet per second. But now I want you to convert that to gallons per day. Any idea? This is a big number. This is in the millions.
How many CFS?
100 CFS up to 400 CFS.
All the engineers are big.
Just shout out a number. How many?
You guys are low. You're still low.
50 million.
You're still low.
120 million.
100, did you say 120 million?
Yeah, who said 120?
Who said 120 million?
Oh, Bill did, okay.
Well, which end?
That's right in the middle of the range. Okay, you know, this is one of the most critical questions I want to ask you today, is you've looked out and looked at the reservoir bed, and it's empty. It's at one of its lowest levels. It's at the end of the season. It's a drought year. We took the reservoir down almost to its lowest level. But what I want to ask you is, the fish facility, the ability to get fish out of the lake has a range that'll operate in the upper end of this. What is the range that we think this fish facility will operate in? You know, right now that river, the reservoir fluctuates about 120 feet up and down from the top to the bottom. What range do you think we were able to design this fish passage to work under? And we're trying to get fish out at the top of the water. It's actually 60 feet. It's actually 63 feet,
Who said
Yeah.
60?
right there.
Who said 60?
So, now we know a little bit about that fish facility. We're going to turn it over to Phil. Phil Rigdon with the Yakima Nation. Been a leader in this process all along and has helped us tremendously. Thank you, Phil.
Good morning. Okay. First, I'm going to ask Jerry to come up and lead us in a prayer. When we gather like this and on an important event such as this, it's important that we start with the blessings of our way. So, if everybody could stand up, and Jerry will lead us. Okay. I want to thank Jerry and Davis for doing that. And first of all, I too want to welcome and thank everybody for being here. This is an enormous event for us to see us at this first stage of the fish passage here at Cle Elum. And the work that's gone into this is, as my leader has talked about it, it's been decades, and we have lost many leaders that had strove for this. And so it's an exciting time. And the important thing are the partnerships that go on between the tribe, the state, the local counties, the irrigation districts, and just that whole the whole place that we got to. And I do want to start off, and I want to talk a little bit about. And I'm going to hand this back to Jerry to talk more about it, but I want to give what this long history and to some extent was. Our tribe has, since 1905, has fought for our right to fish. We went to the Supreme Court with the Weeman's case, and in that history, we strove, and we actually won. We're the only tribe that is part of US v. Washington, US v. Oregon, and those are the Bolt decision, and the Bologna case that decided that we get half the fish. But the leaders back in the late 70s, some folks that may show up here, that history, I think, was they said, what good is a fishing right if we don't have any fish? And they were disappearing. Many different things, the dams on the river, the access to habitat, and you can go down that story and what that was, and that foresight to say, well, we need to do it ourselves. And those leaders, instead of going, and we do go to court and fight in that manner, but they said we need to build partners, and the partnerships that they built are tied to the people that were here. We don't always get along, but we do find a way. And now I think in this future, this vision that was set forth is this step. This is one of the milestones, but we still have a long way to go. There's still many years of this type of work that is necessary. And I do want to recognize, because that is a history that goes back over 100 years of leaders of our people, of sacrifices that our community has taken. And I just wanted to start off with that, and so people understood where the tribe has taken. We have treaty rights associated with these things, but it's more of our relationship. We're here. This is the homeland of our ancestors. This is where our people gathered foods and lived, and that's an important part of who we are. And it's not just on the reservation, but it's these places, and we retain those rights to come and gather and be a part of this place that has always been a part of us. And it's a really important teaching that we've always had. And I hope that you'll understand the importance, the milestone that we see as a people and what this means to us. But before I go to the speakers, I just wanted to start off with that. I do want to recognize some people, some of our elected officials that are here and other representatives that I think are real important. First of all, I want to make sure I recognize my leaders. As Davis Washings, who is, Yellow Wash is his Indian name, but he's the general council chairman of the Aqua Nation. So if you can. You all heard Jerry Lewis. He's a member of the Fish and Wildlife Committee, but he spent a lot of his life working on the fisheries thing. Vigil Lewis, he has previously been on the Fish and Wildlife Committee, and on many of these conversations, he was previously on council, and just a few years ago when he was on the committee, these have always been a priority of this type of work that we're doing, Virgil. Asa Washings is another member of our tribal council that is here today, and the work that he does with us on the legislative side is going to be really critical. So,
Afghanistan veteran.
and he's also an Afghanistan veteran. Okay, so I'll go around and maybe recognize Tom Dent. He's the Washington State House of Representatives, 13th District. I need to go to my. I have, is James Beaver, County Commissioner here? Okay. Robert Beesman, he's a U.S. Representative, Legislative Assistant for U.S. Representative Dave Reichert. Okay, Tyler's here. I didn't see Kevin Boucher here, but I know Mike Leda, the County Commissioner from Yakima, is here. The Kittitas County Commissioner Paul Jewell. Is Jerome Delvin. Okay. I said Tom Dent. Robert Duff, he's the Senior Policy Advisor for the Natural Resource and Environment. I don't see. Shara Finley, she's the District Director for U.S. House of Representatives Dan Newhouse. Tom Iseman, he's the Department of Interior. Laura Lee, she's the Regional Director for Reclamation. Okay. Gary O'Brien. Let's see here. Dave Reeplog, he's Senator Cantwell's legislator. Derek Sanderson, he's the director for he was previously the Office of Columbia River Office for Ecology before he took the director position. And he played an integral part in the conversation. And there is a story that when they passed the bill, he came before Chambers with Dick J. Manning. And I've never seen them, folks get beat up that well in front of council. So I give him for the dedication that he's done to continue on this work has been amazing. So thank you, Derek. Is Sean Small? Okay, Anna Sperling from Senator Patty Murray's residence. And Tom Ted, he's the Director of Office of Henry Rivers, is Judy here? Warnick? Okay, and so that covers most of our folks, and so we'll now move into more of the agenda, and I would like to turn this back to one of our leaders who's been on this stuff for quite a while. Joe Day couldn't make the facilities today. It is a tough time for the tribe. We actually have a large fire on the reservation, and so I really do appreciate our leaders that could make it, but if Jerry could come and speak on behalf of Joe Day.
I really want to express my heartfelt gratitude to all of you that are here today. We have some of our fishery staff that is in the corner back there. The very back corner in the pink shirt, the dark blue shirt, the light blue shirt that you can see. And I believe there are others that are standing outside that work for our fisheries program. Their dedication, their hard work also needs to be applauded too. So please give them a round of applause. Because without their help on the ground, I believe none of this would be possible. We also have other professional staff that are here. Mr. Tom Ring, who works for Water Department here, who is here also. And right in the middle of everybody, I know, is our, where is he? Charlie, would you please stand up? He's our hatchery manager there of Cle Elum. And without him, I know he had a hard time because Virgil was his assistant for a number of years, assistant manager, before Virgil became a councilman. And today Virgil sits up here as a councilman. So it's really something when you can draw on this experience. I know that Virgil has a number of years because he went to school for fisheries there at Mount Hood, and then he came back and went to work at the hatchery along with Charlie. He and Charlie were classmates there. But there are others that are still continuing on their education, and this is very, very important because in the future, when we leave this earth, we want to leave this in place of those that will come up behind us and take over these roles and responsibilities, and they will have that experience to lead our tribe into the future. As Paul had mentioned, it's quite a deal because the tribe cannot do this by themselves. It's the teamwork, the camaraderie of those that they work with. And as Phil had mentioned, we do not get along all the time, but once we go out that door, things change. You are still friends. What happens behind closed doors is a lot of bickering, a lot of arguments, and so there has to be a conclusion, and everybody has to agree. And so I know that's what Phil has been doing with Urban. Urban has been there, I know, and with that smile on his face, they always come out with a handshake or a hug. And so I'm really appreciative to all that have gathered on behalf of what has been accomplished so far. But we cannot pat ourselves on the back because it's not over. It's still going on. And I'm very appreciative to BOR, Lori Lee and them, of the work that they do, working in conjunction with the tribe, her staff, the ones that are up here, and helping in any way they can. And with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and all Department of Interior, and without the help of the state officials, the senators and the congressmen back in D.C., none of this would be possible, and I'm very appreciative, not only locally but nationally, because I know that this is at the forefront. There are other districts out there that are looking at this model that is being put forth. And I'm very appreciative to each and every one of you that this has been pushed to the forefront, that other entities are looking at this and modeling after what has been done here. And so today, I know that, as Phil had mentioned, the chairman could not be here because of the activities that are going on within our reservation. We are losing a lot of our timber up there, and we're very dependent on that. And so he is working very diligently, not only with our staff, but with the BIA, our superintendent, and others that are working up there. Because throughout the state of Washington, it's very hard to get resources, because the resources are spread thin throughout all the fires that are going on, not only in the state of Washington, but Idaho, Oregon, Montana, California. But as the other day, we took the time out and had a prayer vigil. This was started by the tribe of Warm Springs, Oregon. They came forth, they were going to have a prayer vigil down there on the reservation. And they contacted the Yakima tribe. And so the Yakimas agreed with them, and they put forth contacts to the Colville tribe, to the Nez Perce tribe, to the Spokane tribe, because each and every one was affected by this. And so they had a prayer vigil, and each and every tribe had it at the same time the other night at 5:30 p.m. And this was held on behalf of the fires that are going out throughout the Pacific Northwest, and what had happened, with the loss of life and the loss of homes. And so I was very appreciative to all the tribes that they could come together to do this on behalf of all people, not only the tribal people, but all people. And so what is going on here with, as you see, the different entities on there, I know there are still many that are missing on there, but the same thing speaks of this because of what is out there, the water. Very, very important, and that's the key issue that the tribe holds near and dear to their heart, and what swims in there, and what that water feeds those trees out there in the land. And the tribe is no different, because we depend on the agriculture, the water that feeds those plants and those foods that we gather, because we have to eat too. And so we know and understand when BOR speaks of these things. And so today I just wanted to express these few words once again. Very appreciative to each and every one of you, and to all the people that you represent. Thank you.
Thank you, Phil. And thank you all for being here today, and thank you for inviting Senator Cantwell. Right now, at this moment, she's hosting a Energy and Natural Resources Committee field hearing to address some of the wildfire issues that have been talked about already this morning. So she couldn't be here in person, but I know a number of you were with her last month in Yakima when she announced that she was introducing legislation to further the great work that's been going on here in the Yakima Basin. And so she asked me to send her regrets and to thank you again for inviting her and to read this letter on her behalf. And it reads, "Dear friends, welcome and congratulations as you celebrate work that will open nearly 30 miles of critical fish habitat above Cle Elum Dam and Reservoir. Today's event recognizes the important work of the Bureau of Reclamation, the Yakima Nation, the state of Washington to improve our natural resources and secure an important part of our economy, salmon. Once complete, this innovative helix-shaped fish passage will allow for the safe and efficient movement of numerous salmon species past Cle Elum Dam. As the first of its kind, the passage will not only allow fish to safely move past the dam, it will also allow fish to access the passage regardless of the height of the reservoir. This will create more secure conditions for these threatened species and our fishing economy, which depends on them. I am deeply committed to protecting our natural resources and strengthening our infrastructure. I would like to thank the Yakima Basin Integrated Water Resource Management Plan Work Group for their dedicated efforts to engage stakeholders and develop plans that will benefit all Washingtonians. Thank you all for coming out to celebrate this important milestone. I look forward to this new system's successful completion. You have my best wishes for a successful event. Warmest regards, Maria Cantwell, U.S. Senator." Thank you.
And good morning, everyone. It's nice to see everyone out here today. So I'm the new guy. It's nice to see that Derek is here and is equally invested in his new role as our new agricultural director. Thank you. And Rob Duff from the governor's office. I know Governor Inslee is out on the fire, looking at the fire as we speak. So while I'm still fresh on the job as director of the Office of Columbia River, I've had a stake in the Yakima Valley my whole life. I grew up in the Lower Valley. I'm a graduate of Toppenish High School, YVC. I live in Prosser. I know the struggles farmers face. I am a fisherman. I am a hunter. And I professionally work with ecology and a variety of water-related issues over my career. As regional director and as a water manager, I've watched the Valley's water managers, tribal and community leaders, and citizens embrace a new attitude and a new approach to our work. Moving away from distrust and legal disputes to celebrations like this one today. I'm thrilled to be here to help launch the Cle Elum Fish Passage project on behalf of Maya Bellin, our director for the Department of Ecology. She wishes that she were here today. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to make it. But in true Maya Bellin style, I'm supposed to bring some enthusiasm here. So I can't do what she does. She's an amazing woman in that regard. But what a tremendous example of partnership that this facility represents. It's our first large capital project associated with the Yakima Integrated Plan, and we're very excited about it. Not only is this super slide fish passage an engineering marvel, it's a pivotal project that personifies what we mean when we talk about integration, an integrated plan. It's a balanced program that's garnering praise across the nation and the country. We're focused on a variety of projects that meet multiple benefits. It's inclusive, it's nimble, it's engaged, and we have much to do. We'll have roadblocks ahead of us that we'll need to overcome. But I think with this group and the momentum that we have here today, and we'll continue that. The drought is testing us. This year, like no other, have we had to come up with ideas and different approaches to water management. And I want to take a special moment to acknowledge Urban and the Kittitas Reclamation District for stepping out and sort of doing things out of the box. When we met early with the Bureau this year in April, we talked about what is going to be our Yakima Basin drought strategy this year. And we met with the tribe, and we met with the irrigation districts. And the tribe said, we would like you to drop some water into some of these local tributary streams to provide some refugia for fish. And it had never been done before. We've thought about this before. We've talked about it before. We've never done it. We did it this year, and I'm very proud of that. Thank you, everyone. We're resilient, we're responding, we've gotten creative this summer as I've just spoke, but let's keep this ball moving forward. We have much work to do, and we'll continue to live out the lives and values that all Washingtonians share. And again, congratulations and thank you very much.
And so I'd like to ask Laura Lee to come up and say a few words.
Thank you, Phil. As we get started, I would like to recognize the firefighters and the volunteers and the families that are doing all they can to deal with these fires. It's a very tough situation across the state. It's great to be here with you and have an opportunity to celebrate this new start. We have been working towards this for a long time. Many in this room have seen it, have hoped for it, have visualized it, but the fact that we're here actually doing something is really amazing. I have a dear friend by the name of Larry Wakowiak, and he can often be heard to say, Mother Nature has a very interesting sense of humor. And I think we saw that this year in the Yakima Basin. Well, we've known for quite some time that we have water issues in this basin. We've got too many needs, not enough water, a decline in vital fish species, and we're leaning towards warmer temperatures and less snow. We are fortunate enough to have a grassroots partnership that's developed a plan for this basin. And this plan addresses not only the needs of people, but the needs of the environment. I would like to thank our partners for their great work, the Yakima Nation, and the work that you all have done. American Rivers and Trout Unlimited, they've been at the table trying to help us figure it out. The irrigators across the basin, and certainly the Department of Ecology, and Derek, a special thanks to you for your effort. Derek is everywhere, as many of you know. And it's this proactive work that has led us to the integrated plan. It ensures that not anyone gets everything, but everyone gets something. And that's really what's unique and keeps us at the table. With this first big project, salmon and steelhead certainly will come out a winner. This unique Helix design sitting in the back of the room, we have the model. It will allow the young salmon and steelhead to find their way safely downstream. It's not like some other bypass fish passage structures in that it's not a big structure sitting out in the water. But in fact, the intakes are staggered along the shoreline where the fish can find passage easily. The Helix design was refined by our hydraulic lab, which is part of our Denver Technical Services Center. This is a world-class facility designed, tested, and refined fish passage, and will play a huge role in restoring this natural legacy to the watershed. And so I would like to recognize and thank several folks. From our Denver Technical Services Center, we have Adam Toothman. Where's Adam at? Adam, thank you. Jason Wagner. And Leslie Hanna. The outstanding work that these folks have put in for a non-biologist and a non-engineer, as they were trying to explain it to me, they said, well, the fish are less ill when they exit out the bottom. So we really do appreciate your work. And for the leadership here in Washington, we have Don Wiedemeyer, Wendy Christensen, Walt Larrick, and Joe Hubble. If we can give them a hand, please. And then the vision and the passion and the determined efforts that the Yakima Nation have demonstrated to reintroduce these sockeye salmon. It's amazing. You guys were there pushing, even when everybody else was tired. So we really appreciate, again, that vision and that passion. Certainly, we have the Department of Ecology. I've mentioned Derek. Not only has he pushed us, but they've been willing to bring money to the table, which is certainly helpful in a economic time that we're in. This first stage of construction is actually a contract that is let to Strider Construction out of Bellingham, Washington. They will actually construct an access road and a bridge, and it's all expected to be completed in October of 2016. That will be the first of many construction contracts. And Phil, if it's okay with you, I'd like to introduce Tom. So Tom Iseman is here from Department of Interior, Washington, D.C. Tom is the Deputy Assistant Secretary for Water and Science. He's the water policy working with Reclamation. He's looked at climate programs. He's looked at hydropower. But most of all, over the last year, he's really worked with us on the integrated plan from a Washington level, ensuring that we have good communication across the agencies. And that's one of the things that's helped us move efforts forward, because not any one agency is really burdened financially, but we're trying to stretch it across. And I believe that kind of collaboration and cooperation is what's going to help us implement the rest of the plan, frankly. And with that, I'd like to welcome Tom Iseman.
Well, thanks for that nice welcome, Lori. I appreciate it. It's really a great honor to be here with you all today. It's an inspiration, truly, to see how much effort has gone into this project, and that we get to celebrate milestones like this occasionally, and it's great to be a part of this day to day. So thank you for having me here. First, I do want to thank the Yakima Nation, and specifically I'd like to acknowledge Jerry Lewis, Phil Rigdon, Tom Ring, Dave Fast, Mark Johnson, and Brian Saluskin. And it's clear that you all have put in so much work and have really represented the interests of the tribe and helped to move this partnership forward, so thank you for that. In addition, there are a lot of organizations who've been a part of this. They've been recognized, but I'll do it again quickly because I want to make a point here. I want to thank the Washington State Department of Ecology and the Department of Fish and Wildlife, the irrigation districts, the landowners, the Kittitas, Yakima, and Benton counties, the Kittitas County Conservation District, the Salmon Recovery Funding Board, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, the Natural Resources Conservation Service, and the Bureau of Reclamation as well, and Lori and the team from Denver. And obviously that's a lot of organizations, and I may even have left some out, but the point is that there are people who are here today who represent those organizations and represent the commitment of their organizations. And I really appreciate the work that you've put into this project over time. It's so important. And as Lori said, as someone who gets to see a lot of the projects on water and some of the challenges we're facing with respect to drought, this truly is a model and an inspiration in many ways, one that we talk about a lot in Washington, D.C. and with our counterparts in other agencies. So rarely do so many diverse partners come together to support an array of projects like the Cle Elum Dam fish passage that will ultimately support and sustain the people and the natural resources in this basin, and your vision is unprecedented. So this is a technologically advanced fish passage, as we've heard, and it's going to enhance and restore salmon and steelhead populations that have declined since the dam's completion some 80 years ago. And this critical increase in productivity for fish comes while it still allows us to meet our obligations to deliver water for irrigation. And the project we celebrate today, as we've heard, is part of the Yakima Basin Integrated Plan, and I want to say a bit about that plan. That plan really charts the course for the next phase of our partnership. It's, as I said, it's a model for other basins, and the Department of the Interior is committed to supporting it because it's right in line with the priorities of our department and Secretary Sally Jewell. And I want to talk about a few of those priorities and how I think this plan is representative of the Secretary and the department. And one of them that she talks about a lot is working at the landscape scale. And it's clear that this plan looks at the Yakima Basin, thinks about all the diverse interests, the important resources that we need to sustain, and builds collaboration to accomplish those goals. Healthy watersheds and climate resilience. Clearly, climate is an issue that we're dealing with across the Department of the Interior and the land management agencies. This partnership accounts for the changes in climate and hydrology and seeks to build resilience for the basin's water supply and ecosystems over the coming decades. It's really forward-looking. And finally, I wanted to say strengthening tribal nations. And I don't know if this plan has actually strengthened the tribal nation or the tribal nation has clearly strengthened this plan, but it's so important to see the tribal leadership on this effort, and I just want to recognize that. That's an important priority for the department, and it's clear that this project really represents tribal leadership at its best in protecting these resources and working with this community. And finally, one other that was not actually on the list, but that I want to talk about a little bit because of Jerry's comments, which is that one of the things the Secretary talks about a lot is thinking about the next generation. And a lot of times when she talks about that, she's talking about getting youth into the outdoors. But as I've heard her talk about it more, what I've come to appreciate is that it's about getting our next generation of stewards for these resources. And I think what we've heard from the tribe and with the training and the expertise that we're seeing develop here to lead these projects forward is really a great example of doing that. So again, I just want to thank you all for the balanced approach, for all the work that you've done, for all the people and the organizations that have supported this effort. It's really a great day, truly an honor and a privilege and an inspiration for me to be here with all of you today, so thank you.
Thank you, Tom and Lori, both. I do think there are more folks too. I just want to recognize one. One of them is Ron Van Gundy. The conversation helped turn between Rosa and Yakima Nation on our conversation, and so I do want to formally recognize Ron Van Gundy. I also a retired guy who I see working really hard, Jeff Taylor. He's done a lot of work. And with that, we have quite a few other federal agencies that have been part of this. U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and Jeff has been a major part of this. Dale Bainbreck with NOAA, National Marine Fisheries, are integral part of the fisheries community, and all the other parts of that community that we may have skipped or missed. So I just want to recognize that. We also have our federal partners that may not be on this project itself, but we see the future where we are. The Bureau of Indian Affairs is here. Our fisheries program and our relationship with Bonneville Power Administration has allowed us to have our supplementation facility, the hatchery. I think with some recognition for them. And also the Forest Service. We're going to talk about pretty soon about all the fires in the Northwest and what's at risk associated to the water and those kind of things. And Bureau of Reclamation has done an agreement, I forget what it's called, but with the Forest Service. I want to make sure we recognize the Forest Service also in this conversation. So before I know we're getting close where we should be eating, but I do want to tell this story because I think this is the strength of our community and our folks. We actually went to court in the late 1990s when Bureau of Reclamation was rebuilding catchless, and at that time it was a critical point and we said we already had language in the yearwork legislation about fish passage and those kind of things on dams. But out of there was a settlement that came out of that we would continue to do. And the leadership that we saw, Dave Fast, Mark Johnson, and these guys, that they said, we'll test coho to see if we can get them out. And we put on this temporary flume, and I always make a joke about it. And, it's plywood and duct tape, but it's very tribal. And to me, that's part of my pride. It's like building a scaffold down the river. It has a lot more meaning to us when it looks that way. And so that led to where we got to the point where the science was there. We built the science to say we could do this. And the tribe then, we sit there, well, how can we get sockeye in here? And we did an international arrangement with the tribes from Okanagan, and Jerry and Vigil both went up to Canada and met with the tribes, and we have a program that in the long term to help them restore some of their fisheries and do some of the work that we've done here. And I think that's the vision. And we took those fish and we put them in Cle Elum as a sovereign, as a tribe, And we've built science, and we're continuing to do that. And we saw the success. In 2009, we had our first celebration here in this lake. In 2013, we had another celebration when over 850 sockeye returned back from 1,000 that were planted. In the following year, we planted 2,500, and we had 2,700 fish. They replaced themselves. This year's been a lot bigger struggle due to the conditions and the weather, but that's the need and the urgency that I think is necessary inside the whole integrated plan for both out of stream and in stream. And that's the need of how we address the issues and coming together as a community. And so through that leadership, and this leadership goes back decades of my people, but also the folks that had the fortitude. I want to recognize Jay Manning, who had a lot to do with this, and I wanted to make sure I added his name to that. And these are the folks that we dealt with hours of challenging meetings of these crazy times in many ways, but also to come to these points, these milestones, and that's what today is. And I thank each and every one of you for being here, for joining us in this celebration, for my leaders and the leaders throughout the state and local governments. And with that, it's a celebration. And so thank you. But there's so much work to do. There's so many more places that we need to get to accomplish the goals that we have. This is just again, another milestone that we've reached, but a grateful one that we have.